Everything you were taught about the timeline of human civilization depends on one assumption, that complex construction, organized religion, and astronomical knowledge only emerged after agriculture. First came farming, then came settlements, then came temples. That is the accepted sequence. And in 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt found something in the hills of southeastern Turkey that shattered it completely. Gobekli Tepe is approximately 12,000 years old. That makes it roughly 7,000 years older than Stonehenge and 6,000 years older than the earliest known cities in Mesopotamia. It was built at the end of the last ice age by people who, according to the mainstream timeline, should have been nomadic hunter-gatherers with no permanent settlements, no agriculture, and no ability to organise the labour required to carve and transport multi-tonne stone pillars. And yet there it stands. Tonight I want you to tell me who built this and how. Comment below. The site sits on a hilltop near the city of Sanliurfa in southeastern Turkey, close to the Syrian border. It was first surveyed in the 1960s by a joint American and Turkish team, who dismissed it as a medieval cemetery. The carved limestone was visible on the surface, but no one investigated further for 30 years. Schmidt arrived in 1994 and immediately recognised what the earlier team had missed. Beneath the surface was a complex of massive stone enclosures, circular structures containing T-shaped pillars up to 5.5 metres tall, weighing up to 15 tonnes each. The pillars were carved with elaborate reliefs of animals: lions, foxes, scorpions, vultures, snakes and wild boar. Some pillars had arms and hands carved into their sides, suggesting they represented humanoid figures. The central pillars in each enclosure were the largest and most elaborately decorated. Radiocarbon dating placed the older structures at approximately 9,500 BCE. This is not a disputed date. Multiple independent laboratories confirmed it. The site was built before pottery, before metal tools, before the wheel, before writing, before any known form of agriculture in the region. This is the part that mainstream archaeology struggles with. The accepted model says that agriculture enabled surplus food, which enabled permanent settlements, which enabled specialized labor, which enabled monumental construction. Gobekli Tepe reverses the entire sequence. Here, monumental construction came first. The site appears to have been built by hunter-gatherers who had not yet developed farming. The logistics alone are staggering. The pillars were quarried from limestone bedrock several hundred meters away. One unfinished pillar, still attached to the bedrock in the quarry, is estimated to weigh 50 tons. Moving these stones required coordinated labour, dozens, perhaps hundreds, of people working together over extended periods. Feeding those people required organised food supply. But there are no signs of permanent habitation at Gobekli Tepe. No cooking hearths, no sleeping quarters, no storage rooms. The site appears to have been purely ceremonial. The animal carvings are not decorative. Analysis by Schmidt and his successors suggests they are symbolic and astronomical. Several researchers have proposed that specific pillar carvings correspond to star constellations, and that one particular carving, known as the Vulture Stone, may depict a catastrophic event. The Vulture Stone shows a headless human figure beneath a vulture carrying a circular object. Engineers Martin Sweatman and Dimitrios Tsikritsis of the University of Edinburgh published a paper in 2017 arguing that the animal symbols on the Vulture Stone correspond to astronomical constellations, and that the carving records a cometary impact event dating to approximately 10,800 BCE, the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. The Younger Dryas was a sudden and severe return to glacial conditions that lasted approximately 1,300 years, beginning around 10,800 BCE. It coincided with mass extinctions across North America and a significant disruption to human populations. The cause has been debated for decades, but increasing geological evidence, including nanodiamonds, melt glass, and platinum anomalies found across multiple continents, supports the hypothesis that a cometary impact or airburst triggered the event. If the Vulture Stone does record this event, it means the builders of Gobekli Tepe possessed astronomical knowledge sophisticated enough to map constellations and record celestial events in stone, millennia before any civilization was supposed to have developed such capabilities. The site was deliberately buried. This is not speculation. The enclosures were intentionally backfilled with soil and debris around 8,000 BCE. someone made a conscious decision to bury the entire complex. The burial preserved the site in extraordinary condition, but the reason for it remains unknown. Why would a community invest generations of effort building a monumental site and then deliberately hide it? Only about 5% of Gobekli Tepe has been excavated. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have confirmed that the vast majority of the site remains underground. Whatever has been found so far is a fraction of what is there. The question Gobekli Tepe forces us to ask is not about aliens or ancient astronauts. It is about our own history. If hunter-gatherers could organize the labor, develop the engineering, and possess the astronomical knowledge required to build this 12,000 years ago, what else were they capable of that we have not yet found? What does it mean that this site was deliberately buried and forgotten for 10,000 years? Subscribe now and follow the evidence. The